Friends, in this video, I'm going to talk to you on the topic 2021-22, what's in store? You will all agree with me that 2020-21 was an extraordinary year. Starting on a note of despondency, based on the circumstances where hope was simply absent, the year turned out to be an absolute surprise. To a market participant, 2020-21 was simply beyond our predicting skills. It surprised everybody, and it surprised everybody in ways we had never thought of. When you come out of a year when you had a massive positive surprise and everybody is happy at the way the surprise happened, you are actually entering a year where pleasing the market is going to be extremely difficult. The market's expectations are always going to be higher than the reality can meet. It is in this scenario that the government made its budget, gave a vision for this year. In my sense, the numbers for 21-22 have been downplayed, and with a good reason. For the last several years, rarely have we seen the actual numbers in the economy beat estimates. While we all know that even if the GDP grows by 12.5% in real terms in 21-22, as we are having some early predictions, the economy will be just a little bit above the size it was pre-COVID. So essentially, we are going to lose 2 financial years, and the coming year is the second of the 2. So, a year like this where you don't really have much to cheer, you have a long distance to cover, and covering that distance is only going to prepare you for the future, is a difficult year for an investor. The markets have already factored in such a year. In fact, the markets may have factored in even beyond such a year. In that scenario, what will the markets factor in such a year? Will it factor in optimism that's further down the road, or will it factor in fears that are hidden, or will it just get tired of being positive? It's in this context that we are entering a new financial year. Now let's look at how the government is viewing this. The government is optimistic that we will reach the pre-COVID size of our economy. It believes the growth in this year will be adequate to take the economy back to where it was before we were struck by COVID. It is also believing that the growth trajectory which we are going to have this year can help the coming years. So the belief is that if growth is robust this year, it can sustain going forward. It also thinks that inflation management will get a new approach with the new inflation management framework due this year. So that is something which is very, very critical, and we need to keep a very close watch on that. How the government gets that part right is very, very critical for growth to create and sustain in the way the government wants it to. The next aspect is revenue growth for the government. Government revenues have been very weak. We all know how states and center are struggling with paucity of revenues. But the government has done one interesting thing. It has assumed lower revenues from GST. It has assumed lower tax collections for the coming financial year. If the current trend continues, it is more than likely that we will have actual numbers beating the budget estimates. So the revenue traction is likely to be superior to what the government has assumed, and it is also likely to be superior to its own past track record. While the overall revenue growth trajectory from the time GST has been launched has not been as it was expected, we have a fair chance of starting a new trajectory from now where revenue growth should be robust. The government is also ready to take on the evaders of taxes, more importantly GST, and to raise the bar on tax compliance. So we should see robust revenue growth in the coming year. We will also see that the actual numbers in this upcoming financial year will be better than what the budget has estimated on several scores. Income may be higher, expenses may not become more than what is estimated, so deficits will be way lower than what the government has assumed. Importantly, all the off-balance sheet items, or at least most of them, would be within the budget and there would be limited scope for off-balance sheet accounting. Lastly, to the markets. It's impossible to predict the markets. I could never have predicted the markets would have done what they did in the last financial year, and I presume that that handicap continues going forward. But one thing is very relevant, and that is global flows will have a major bearing on our markets. The dollar indices will affect the Indian indices, and we need to keep a very close watch on the dollar indices to understand how it's moving and how those moves will impact our markets and our indices in particular. Overall, we are going into a year where economic recovery should be stronger, should be grounded in fundamentals, and will set the country towards a better growth trajectory going forward. Investment in this phase should be done diligently, continuously, and systematically. If we manage to do that over an extended period of time, when the economy returns to a higher growth trajectory, I believe that stock valuations will further expand as markets may not discount a robust growth going forward. So that phase when the market is still unsure is a phase which we should use to build our positions, to raise the scale of our ideas, and to create a bigger and better equity portfolio. That in essence is what is in store in 2021-22. It's going to be a consolidation year, and it's time you consolidated your investments into a superior investment portfolio. Thank you for watching this video. Stay the course with us.